Hello everybody, today we're doing a video for GTA Car Kits in a 2016 Infiniti QX60, and today we're going to show you how to install CarPlay on this particular vehicle. And as you can see, it's already installed and it's paired to our iPhone wirelessly, and it can also work with an Android phone by the wire, and you can control it with the original touchscreen. And it has apps like Waze, Google Maps, and everything that you have on CarPlay. The original rear view camera will still work if you put the car in reverse, so nothing gets disabled, and you can easily switch to the original system by pressing the back button. And now we're gonna go ahead and show you how to install it in this particular vehicle. So the tools that you're gonna need is a Phillips screwdriver, a flathead screwdriver, this panel removal hook, and the panel removal tool. So we're gonna start with these two tools. So we're gonna get underneath here at one of the corners in order to get this rubber piece out, and you just pull on it and it will come out. Next will be the plastic piece underneath. So there's two clips right here, so that's what I was removing. And then there's going to be a connection here, so you're just going to press on it and release it. Next we're going to use our fingers underneath and pull this another plastic cover, and it just comes off. And again, it's just on 4 clips here and one in the middle. Next is this panel underneath the silver one, so we're going to use our fingers and just pull it out. Now we're going to use our Phillips screwdriver, and there's 2 screws on each side, so there's one right here and then another one on the other side. Next is this radio panel. And here is a clip which you have to press. Next there's another 2 screws, so there's one right there, and it's a Phillips, and another one right here, so you have to lift this cable up. Now we're going to remove this control panel. So once you remove the bolts, it will just come out. And here's another connection that has a clip underneath. So you will press it, release it, and it will come off. Now there's these 4 bolts, but we're only going to be unscrewing the 2 lower ones, because we're going to remove this unit now. So there's 2 on top. That's the ones that we're going to remove. And when you're going to be putting them back, make sure that's where the silver screws or bolts go. They go right here, because if you're going to use the black ones that were removed earlier, they will just not work there. There's 2 more, so there's one right here and one over there. So we're going to go ahead and remove them. So before removing the radio, we're going to remove the center console, because it's going to give us extra space, plus we're going to hide everything underneath here. So we're just going to remove it now. So first you're going to pop this leather piece down, and here you're going to see a silver clip. You're just going to unclip it and make sure you don't lose it. And now you can just remove this shift knob. Next we're going to use our Phillips, and there's these 2 bolts right here. So we're just gonna slightly loosen it. There's another one right there. So again, we're just gonna slightly loosen them, because they kind of hold this side panels. So we're gonna use our panel removal tool and unclip this panel, and it will just come out. So we loosen the bolts because they hold it tight right here. Next side, same thing. You're gonna start from the back and work your way down. Next you're gonna see there's 4 bolts on each side. So there's one, there's the second one, third one, and the 4th one. So in order to get to them, these are easy to remove. This one is semi-easy, and this one you need to kind of push the seat down, and you're gonna lower the seat before doing that and kind of move it back, so it gives you enough space, because if you have the seat raised, then it's going to be very difficult to get to this particular one. So we're going to start from this side and just start removing them one by one. As I told you, this one, you can kind of... Our seat is already in the lowest position, so now we're gonna do the driver's side. Now we're gonna lift up this center console. We're gonna open the armrest. Now we're gonna close it. Once you lift it, we're just gonna kind of turn it sideways. Also, to give you a little bit more of space, we're gonna make sure that the foot brake is on. We're gonna press this release right here, and we're gonna move the gear selector down. That way we have space here. With the kit, you're gonna get this kind of Y splitter. So you're gonna unplug two original connections that will match these ones. You'll plug this instead, and the original ones will plug in here. So on this radio, these two connections are right here. So there's the first one. So you're gonna just press the clip down and unplug it. So that's the bigger one, this one. And then right underneath, there's the smaller one. Now we're gonna take the cable from our kit. We'll first plug in the bottom one, then the top one, then we'll kind of feed it through, and then we'll plug in the original connections into our harness. Make sure that they go all the way in and they click. So we did the big one, now we need to do the small one. Here you go. So then from this harness, you're gonna get this connection. So this is where our harness to the module will plug into, and then we'll run that wire behind all the wires and right here into the middle. So this is the harness that I'm talking about. So this end with the flat piece is gonna stay in the middle here, and then this gray end we're gonna feed right now upwards, so we can plug it in right here. Here we go, that's our harness. We'll just plug it in. With your kit, you're gonna get two video cables. They're both gonna go into the module, but first, on the back of the stereo, you're gonna see there's this video cable right here, and you're gonna see that underneath it's brown. So that's the one you gotta use, because this one looks like that one, but that one is gray, so that one is the wrong one. Use our flathead screwdriver. Then with our kit, you're gonna get a female one. So you're gonna plug in this female end here. We're gonna drop it below, behind all the wires, and we're gonna bring it to the middle. So this wire, because the blue end that you saw, this is what's gonna go inside our module. Here you go. So we have it here, along with our harness. Next, there's gonna be a male end video cable. So that's gonna go in instead of the original one. So you'll just plug it in. So this cable, we're gonna do exact same thing. We're gonna route it behind all the wires and bring it to the middle. So the cable that we plugged in to the original connection will go, this is our module, and it will go to the LCD in side. And then the one that we have with the female end, where we plugged in the original cable, which we removed from here, this will go to the LCD out. And then at this point we can also connect the harness that we wired first. Here we go. Next we're gonna wire the microphone. So the microphone is used only for Siri or Google Assistant, but the original microphone of this car will still be used for your Bluetooth and your Bluetooth phone calls. So in this particular car, we're just gonna hide the microphone right around this area. And then the same thing with this wire. You're gonna drop it behind all the original wiring. And again, we're gonna bring it to the middle of the car. So this wire ends up being very long, so you can use the original cable tie for this wire to make it more neat and tie it all together, because you don't need it so long. So this is the microphone wire. As you can see, we made it shorter, and we're gonna plug it into this microphone slot. Next, on this side, you're gonna see this audio out cable, and then we're also gonna wire a USB female end. So auxiliary wire from here and this USB end will have to go in the middle here in the center console or this armrest. So we're gonna take our drill and we're gonna drill a hole right here in the middle between the USB and this 12-volt socket. So once the hole is made, you gotta make sure that this end of the USB female will be, it's big enough for it. So as you can see, it fits, so that's good. Next, we're gonna take this auxiliary cable. This is for sound, and we're gonna feed it through there too. Again, this one is also a little long, so you can use the cable tie to make it a little shorter. And then we're gonna take our USB to auxiliary adapter, and we're gonna plug it into the original USB right here, because this is how you're gonna hear sound from CarPlay. So it's gonna show up on your radio as iPod source, and that's how you're gonna hear stuff from CarPlay. And here you would plug in your Apple or Android device for a wired connection. So these two wires, so the auxiliary will go to this audio out, and then this USB end will go to the USB connection right here. One of the last things is the antenna. The module is gonna rest, there's plenty of space on the closer to the passenger. So at this point, we're just gonna clean up these wires, and then we're gonna start assembling everything back. So now that we tucked the wires here in the module, we're gonna put the radio back. So there's 4 guides, so there's 2 on top and 2 at the bottom, so they have to line up in order for everything to line up nicely for the bolts. So as you can see, the radio is sitting in those guides. So now we're gonna use our Phillips and we're gonna put those 4 bolts back. So at this point we can connect this panel, and as you remember, there's 2 bolts or 2 screws holding it underneath, but for now we're not going to put them because we're just going to test everything. So once you install these 2 pieces, so we're just going to turn on our ignition. You got to make sure that the screen lights up, and then we're going to press and hold the back button. As you can see, our menu is working. So you're gonna just check the touchscreen, and the touchscreen is working. Now we're gonna test that the audio is working. So earlier we plugged in this adapter, so now the car is in iPod mode. So you just gotta make sure that in original stereo, as you can see, it says iPod audio. So then we're gonna connect our Apple device in order to have some music. As you can see, it's the launched CarPlay, and you can hear that the audio is playing, and it's playing from CarPlay. So everything is good. So now we're gonna put this center console back. Before we start working on the center console, we're gonna again unplug this piece right here, and then we're gonna put the 2 screws back. Now we're gonna plug it back up and make sure it clips in, and then again we're gonna put back 2 screws right here. So now we're gonna put back all the screws on the sides of the panel, so there's 4 on each side. So now we're gonna put back these side pieces. So we're gonna start closer to your front of the car, and just clips back. Same on the driver's side. Now we're going to use our Phillips and tighten these two screws right here. Make sure not to over tighten them. They're just made to be slightly loosened or tightened in order to hold the side panels. Next, going to be this piece right here. Then the piece with a 12-volt socket. You're going to clip it back in right here. And then the rubber piece. And the last thing is the shift knob. So you're going to get your clip. And once the clip is on, then you can pull back and clip the leather. Here you go. So at this point the installation is complete. Again, the touchscreen is working, the audio is working, then everything is installed correctly. So again, this was a video for GTA Car Kits in a 2016 Infiniti QX60. I hope you liked the video, and we'll see you next time.